Let's talk about.
Let me set the programs again. Okay, so here I welcome you all again. So here Sudarshan Kadariya is from New York. He's stay there, but his heart is in Nepal. He's working here in Nepal with the motto of making entrepreneurship feeling among youth. He's just trying to motivate individuals with the support of fund and many others criterias. He has initiated Lagani Holding and Schools project and is running from 2 years and continuously is working on. So for the facilitation and some kind of moderation, I'm welcoming Mr. Rajiv Raj for the same process. I would like to Sudarshan Korea sir to say in Nepali if you feel comfortable, so that we can feel and ease and operate so easily. Thank you, sir. Please proceed.
Thank you, Dr. Binod Ghimire. I don't have language is just a matter of conveying the information. I believe graduate students are good enough to have English session. So if the participants are okay with this, I'm okay with this. So, and I believe everyone is comfortable with the language that we are speaking.
Yes, sir. Continue.
Right. Thank you so much.
Yes, sir.
And regarding public companies, regarding public companies, I would like to describe certain areas which were badly affected during that period, and those can be seen easily in the way of life back there. And at the same time, I would like to describe something about the upside of the business. Pandemic has not just created challenges and risk, but also opportunities for certain businesses. If you look at the downside thing, mostly affected bricks and mortar stores, meaning the stores they have physical stations, like a very old company Toys R Us, that this company is to sell toys for the kids, forced to close. Sears electric company, electronics retailer, forced to close. JCPenney, a retail store, forced to close many outlets during the pandemic. Okay, you can take a look in the link given to know more about those companies. And since the lockdown implemented, people stopped going outside, so all the businesses got closed. And another mostly affected area is the transportation and travel industries. Airlines stopped, cruise line stops, trucking industries, majority of them are stopped. And travel, recreation, and holiday business that I have described, the real story of Cops and Kings, stopped and badly affected. The online platforms for ticketing and other services, booking.com and TripAdvisors, those are the public company badly affected, and their share price went down significantly. At the same time, there are a couple of upside businesses. The leading upside business is Amazon, whose stock price was like 1600 during the pandemic time. And if you look at nowadays, it is more than doubled. Walmart, another retail store, they have online retail store and physical retail store as well. So they are also doing very good. And other retail stores which has online division, they were doing very good business once the pandemic hit in the uh, business world. And another area of upside business are parcel and courier. As we have seen, FedEx, UPS, and the USPS, the mailing services company, the delivery company, their businesses went out of the roof, and they are doing so good. They hired thousands of drivers and purchased thousands of new vehicles, and they serve the people in such a whole, like, big country, uh, deliver a door to door in those pandemic time, and their businesses are extremely good. If you look at their stock prices in Yahoo Finance or any platform you would like to check, their prices were um, more than doubled, most of them. And food industry is like majority of these restaurants get closed, their physical location to serve the customers indoor, and they are allowed to open up for to go only, meaning that business can open, they process the order, receiving online or over the phone, and they have to deliver, or customer go and pick the food from outside of these stores, outside the restaurants. So Uber Eats, the company Uber, launched the new service Uber Eats, doing very good business, and DoorDash and Seamless kind of online platform where we can place food order. Those are the companies doing very good business. And another area is technology sector. All the major businesses forced to adapt. Banks and other big companies forced to adapt. They have to run their business. They're forced to adapt remote mode of working, and Zoom and TeamViewers that we also use these tools. Their businesses are also doing great. And if since we are the management students, if you look at the share price of their of these companies, they are interesting. And other area, one interesting area is real estate. And in such a pandemic time, how come real estate price go up? This is interesting. People don't have job, people don't have businesses doing well, and most of them are unemployed and staying at home. But the house price are going up. If you look at today's price, similarly in Nepal, the land and house prices skyrocketed, even in the pandemic situation. Same as the stock market. We'll discuss more about the stock markets later on. So it is back there. It is due to shortage of homes. Home builders are the huge. Sometimes public companies they stop working because of the situation, and there are supply shortages, and people, whatever it is, people start to buy homes, and the prices, if you compare in last year, 25% more. This is a kind of critics, but this is the fact. And major cities, another interesting areas are major cities getting vacant. Urban areas are more attractive due to work from home practices. Like in the major cities, like as New York, London, and Paris, those kind of places, there are big buildings, like reputed buildings. People, businesses feel proud if they have offices on those kind of buildings, like as Empire State Building in New York, Freedom Tower, the Twin Tower that most of us know, those terrorist attracted buildings. There are new buildings set up, and those space nowadays are most of the spaces are vacant because of the pandemic. Okay, and people are not forced to go to work, and they are able to work from home. So those real estate rental spaces are getting less priority and cheap nowadays. This is one major changes. And urban areas, like close to the city locations, their prices, build home prices and other prices are rising. And retail spaces are cheaply available due to the business closure permanently. The last time I went there in April 2021. 2020, April 2020. And I have seen New York City, which is the busiest place in the normal time. Many businesses are closed. People are not walking on the street. I have seen personally, people are not walking. There are no tourists in such a huge city, and the businesses are closing permanently. And those are the impact of COVID-19 in those areas. Like in our case, some businesses might close in New Road area. Some businesses might close in Temperature area, which is considered the major area in Kathmandu, right, and other cities in Nepal. So some presentation, once the pandemic hit, you can look at here, you can see gold prices are skyrocketing once again. At the peak of the pandemic, people are afraid to invest in the stock market initially, and other areas of investment alternatives, and they pile up their money into the gold. So immediately after a pandemic hits, gold price reached to its all-time high. Okay, those are the consequences, how pandemic has affected the business and the economy as such. So this for your reference. And this is interesting thing. We are in the free economy. We are practicing free economy in the world. Most of the country practices free economy. And in the history of the crude oil, which is the raw material of the world that we use, petroleum, the WTI crude oil prices went down to negative, meaning that one barrel, if you would like to purchase 1 barrel of crude oil on processed oil during those June period of 2020, you would get about $45. Meaning that you buy the oil and you will also get the money. But this is not a real material. This is a future contracts. And this is interesting. I have included here for a reference. You can dig into it. And this is one time in the history. If you are buying something, meaning you are accepting something for free, not only free, you would also get money from the seller. So can you believe that?
So it may
Can
be possible.
anybody, it seems not possible, but it is the fact. So can
Yes, sir.
anybody give reasons why that was happened?
So in my point of view, as you had mentioned in your presentation that most of the cities have adopted the work from home system. So if in that point, if the vehicles will not have, if the vehicles will not run, in that case, there will be the oversupply of the oil. So in that case, there will be the negativity or what?
Oversupply means, yes, that is true. All the vehicles stopped moving
Yes, sir.
around.
Yes,
And
sir.
but why it is negative? And I'm talking about this is a future contracts, meaning that if you are buying, if you accept the agreement to receive those raw crude oil in the later date, you'd also get money out of this. The only reason of this thing is the space, outage of storage spaces. Whatever available, the production like crude oil, those mining things is a huge operation, and it is a different story. It involves a lot of investment. Once you are into this operation, everything output continue to generate. You cannot stop even if you want, right? Just to maintain your operation and just to maintain your business to go. So those period of time, as you mentioned, well said, vehicles stopped moving around, the fuel consumptions drastically going down, and all the storage facilities are filled up. Most of the storage facilities are filled up, and whatever are available, those storage don't want to buy those crude oils because they don't see the market in the days to come.
Yes,
That's
sir.
why Weber brings those crude oils which are in the ship, which is coming, and the contract time is coming up. Those people are not able to throw them out on the sea, and they don't have space to store anywhere on the land. That's why those are the time, very brief time, the crude oil prices went below zero, and not only below zero, it is about $45 per barrel. One barrel means 159 liters. Okay, so this is an interesting thing. That's why I have pointed out here for your knowledge. And we are business people, and this is very interesting as well. You are getting something, and you are also getting paid on receiving something, right? And the reason is that. And the other thing, stock market's all-time high, the longest bull since 2008 financial crisis, 2008-9 financial crisis. Even the stock market is in bull uh, in its peak, and this is the longest bull in the history of America. And we are also following the same in Nepal. We are in bull market, and the stock market is performing well with little correction since last couple of weeks, days, right? And as I discussed before, some biotech company. One interesting fact about America is they spend huge lot of money in research and development. Even though private companies, government, whatever it is, they spend huge money in research and development. One example is COVID vaccine. In general, in like a pandemic situation, coronavirus situations, to develop a vaccine, generally it takes 10 years. That's what people say. That's what the industry says. But in less than a year, uh, the world get the vaccines, and these are some of the major companies produces vaccines. If you look at their stock prices 1 year from now, most of them are more than 3 times or more than many times, right? They are now running 236. Only two examples I have included. 221. I had also bought Moderna for $22. Now it is 212. Interesting, right? And there is a link, you can dig into it if you want to know more about it. And vaccine development is a long process. You have to go through the various samples and studies and consistent results, and the regulatory body need to give you an approval. Then only you can able to commercially produce the vaccines, and these are the leading companies. Just for your reference, I'm touching up these areas. And despite we have talked about the bad news, the effects, the negative impact of the COVID situations, as well as some business are doing very good, and the stock market is doing very good. What are the reasons? What the government has done to take out the economy from this difficult time? And obviously, the government intervention is the only major thing that we have seen in terms of America. And in our context, we can evaluate our government capacity to do the thing, and how efficiently they are curbing the COVID situation. But in terms of the Western developed country, American government had invested a lot of money, like they supplied money so much in terms of business loans, employee retention funds, short-term loans, grants, so many things. And first time in the history, federal bank, the Central Bank of America, had started to bought commercial business debentures. This is the first time in the history. So this is how whatever supply available in the market, the central government bought those out, so that they stabilize the market. Everyone got feared. It is like a 1929's Great Depression situation. It was a huge debate on those time in the financial medias and news platform, but central bank has implemented new policies, new interventions, so that they stabilize the market. And government once the government floated money on the economy, and everyone get money, like employee, if you lose your job, you get money. Like in many cases, you'd get more money while staying home than go to the work, which is still possible in America for some people. It is not easily available to everyone, but if you meet certain criteria, if you are genuinely your business get closed out, and you are intentionally interested to work, but you don't have jobs, in those situations you used to get certain reliefs. Okay, and the government has give them, like every citizen, certain amount of money as a stimulus relief package, stimulus benefit. They have increased unemployment benefits, so that people peacefully stay at home. They buy stuff from the groceries, and they stay at home safely. This is how the government intervention I have seen in my, like I also I'm also a business student, and I studied up to MPhil in from Turan universities, and I never thought of such an intervention by the government, but we have seen those things back there, right? Because they are capable to do all those things, and they have handled the situation so nicely. And consequences, yes, government can flood the money supply, government can increase the money supply, which has create the inflation risk. Nowadays there are risks of inflation. There are a zero interest rate situation for the longer period of time, and the central bank has planned to raise the interest rate, and ultimately they are raising tax. Okay, so government as an entity, they does the thing what is needed at the time, what is important to do, and later on they correct and they balance the economy. And in US, the inflation and the tax situations are now on the debate. And another thing, some of you could be interested in Bitcoin. Bitcoin during this time, Bitcoin are unregulated things. And during this time, this is unregulated thing, on intangible thing, which is, we are not sure whether it is assets or not, but the one Bitcoin price went up to 60,000, which was like 3,000 the year before. Okay, uh, those things happen. Similarly, due to the development of online platform, like we are practicing online trading system in Nepal as well, back there in United States, online trading is not a new phenomena, but free trading is a new phenomena. Once the Robinhood brokerage platform introduced their services, it is a free. You can buy and you can sell. There are no cost involved, right? So that the development of social media, people used to talk about, the people gather, they unite in a groups, and they talk about uh, stocks, and uh, they everyone go jump into our stocks, and the price got skyrocketed. One example is GameStop. If you Google it, you'll find the story. This is not a nice stock if you look at the fundamentals and all of those things. Uh, but it is an old business back there. And if you look at here, 52 low $3.77 and 52 high 473. Somewhat there are a Reddit platform, which is a discussion platform of the investors. There are a cloning of the investors. They discuss about this company. Everyone, like retail investors, which is individual investors, they believe on the stories and everyone put money into it. So if you look at the graph, the price went up so much. So stock market is not a logical thing. Sometimes it is a high risk game, and sometimes it doesn't require logics to go price up and down. Okay, this is just an exposure for you guys. And in our context, finally, yeah, we are talking in Nepal, and we have to face the situation in Nepal. So as I mentioned initially, you can relate our economy, our government, how the pandemic has affected the business. Certainly, somehow what we have discussed, not in that magnitude but some magnitude, we our businesses, small businesses and public businesses also got affected by the COVID. So you can relate them out. So good news is in our market as well, some online business platforms are opening up, even though there are problems in like a geographical mapping system. Like you don't know where to reach out to customer's house. You have to make it calls 10 times, so that you'll lose money and energy and efforts, time. Okay, and regulators got confused, like our riding, like, what is that, tutorial or something like that. So there are regulation issues on them. And finally, if you have any questions, you can this is the time for certain minutes, 5 minutes maybe. And finally, this is about, as Dr. Binod Ghimire has describe you guys, we run Lagani School, educational platform. And since I'm the finance student, even though I'm not in Nepal, my intent is to educate people about the stock market. So with the help of certain promoters, friends, we have established this company, and we provide stock market training at low cost throughout the year, every weekend, online and physical. Nowadays, due to the COVID situation, we are implementing only online version. Thank you so much for patiently uh, listening to me. And if you guys have any questions, just this is your time.
Well, students, this is a high time that we are just discussing about actually what is the reaction of one people, what they have seen in the Europe when he's going there. You are just not knowing about anything. Actually, he was having gold medalist. He had career over here, but he was thinking about big horizon, and he sees that, okay, and from that, he's gaining a lot. And that is what he is saying here in Nepal. He was talking about financial education is a must. We people are lacking of it because of all the things that is related with financial issues. So in that aspect, he motivated me, and then after we just registered this company, and the main motto is what? Just to expand our horizon, for that expansion. So in that level, we are discussing about different issues. So students have some questions so that he is answering about your queries.
Now you can go into Nepali medium if you feel comfortable. Any medium, language, medium, like language is not a matter. Okay, you can go any language. म नेपाली पनि राम्रो बोल्छु, म इङ्ग्लिस पनि बुझ्ने गरेर बोल्छु. सो तपाईँहरू जुन पनि भाषामा सोध्न सक्नुहुन्छ. केही छ भने सोध्नुहोस्
सर
हैन, म अवेलेबल छु. मेरो
हजुर
एक्सपिरियन्स सेयर
हजुर सर
गर्ने हो. हजुर राजीव जी.
हजुरले जसरी एउटा इक्जाम्पल एउटा ककको पनि दिनुभयो, ब्याङ्क्रप्सी भएर खासमा त्यो भएको रहेछ